Alright, today we have two sets to show you that are more than meets the eye. Yep, from the LEGO Icons Transformers collection, we're going to be taking a closer look at the peppy Autobot Bumblebee and one of the best Decepticons of all time, the recently released Soundwave. And we want to point out for those who may not be familiar with these awesome LEGO Transformer builds, they are one of the best designs in all of LEGO, and yes, of course, they transform too, just like the toys do. So stick around for our review of these two fantastic sets and you'll see both of these Transformers in action. Okay, and with that, it's time for us to transform and roll out, starting with the iconic Bumblebee, an OG Autobot and a fan favorite of many. Released last year in 2024, the Bumblebee set contains 950 pieces and it has an intended target age of 18 and up, and is the most affordable Transformer set in the series at $90. So yeah, when we say the most affordable is still $90, we're talking about a pretty pricey collection here from LEGO. But in this case, you get what you pay for, and that's a good thing. On the front of the box, we have a picture of Bumblebee in robot form. And on the back, we have an image showing Bumblebee transforming from car mode to robot, some more images of the set, and a diagram of the dimensions of the build, with Bumblebee in robot form at a height of 9 inches tall, so yeah, it's a pretty decent size. And the set includes this thick instruction booklet, which in addition to the steps to assemble the build, includes some other neat content, like this backstory on the Bumblebee character, a brave little bee. When summoned into action, Bumblebee, affectionately known as Bee, is a loyal, courageous, fierce, and agile Autobot known for his impressive combat skills and unwavering dedication to protecting humanity. Since the popular Transformer toy robots were first introduced in 1984, the humbly sized yellow and black character has captured the hearts of audiences of all ages in countless adventures, from comic books and video games to animations and a successful movie franchise. Despite his size, Bumblebee embodies an unwavering spirit of heroism and ultimate selflessness. It was only natural that he would follow LEGO Optimus Prime in our LEGO Transformers series. On the next page, now this is pretty cool, we find a short little bio on Bumblebee. A human's best friend. Bumblebee has a strong connection to Earth and humanity. In fact, some of his best friends are humans. He fiercely protects the humans he loves and his fellow Autobots. In spite of his small stature, this little bot is among the bravest of the Autobots, with a sting that can bring down even the most formidable enemy. Optimus Prime could not have asked for a more dedicated friend and ally in the fight against the Decepticons. Smart, brave, and often faster than you might think, he is prepared to do whatever it takes to protect humanity. Go Bumblebee. And then finally, we have a nice little note from the LEGO design team. Bumblebee is such a lovable character, and we wanted to create a model that not only looks and transforms like him, but also includes tributes to his long history. In addition to his blue blaster and bee-wing jetpack, look for cheeky little details throughout the model, such as the small hidden bee element somewhere, and printed decorations and stickers that carry special meaning. The plaque matches the one included in the LEGO Optimus Prime 10302 set, so if you have both sets, they make a fine display together. Samuel Liltorp Johnson, LEGO Icons Design Manager. Alright, now with those fun little extras covered, let's dive into the build itself. We have the Bumblebee model, currently in car form, his oversized blaster, and this informational display plaque. Let's start with the plaque. Now, it's a sticker, not a printed piece, unfortunately, which we've always been pretty picky about, especially when it comes to a set at a higher price point like this one. But you know, LEGO has never been consistent with this. Take the R2-D2 sets, for example. The smaller, less expensive version of R2 has a printed plaque, and the larger one, a sticker. So I don't know. Anyway, back to this plaque. On it we have the Autobot logo, Bumblebee with his function listed as Scout, his attributes, and finally a quote, "The least likely can be the most dangerous," and I could not agree more. And one other thing to point out on this plaque, remember those hidden bee charms that the designer mentioned? Well, you can find one of them hidden on the back right here. Pretty cool. Okay, let's move the plaque to the side and take a look at the car model of the Bumblebee build. Okay, so this is a Gen 1 version of Bumblebee, so no, his car model is not a Chevy Camaro like in the live-action movies. For those of us old enough to remember the original cartoon series, this is his familiar Volkswagen Beetle model, and boy does this build look great. On the front we have the curvy hood and bumper and the two headlights that look just like bug eyes. And what is that in the windshield? Yep, it's the other hidden bee charm. Looking at the top of the model, we can see the Autobot logo on the center of the roof. But interestingly enough, the build gives you the option of placing the logo in that location, or if you'd prefer, you can put it on the hood. However, if you want the logo to appear on Bumblebee's chest in robot mode, then you should place it on the roof. Otherwise, it will appear on his foot when he transforms, which is just weird. Looking at the side of the car, it's relatively plain, no decals or designs, and the only pieces that move are the rear view mirrors on the side, and obviously the wheels. And the hood does flip open, but this is required to transform into robot mode, so we're not sure if it's a feature of the car form or not. Finally, on the back of the car, we have a couple of nice touches, including 2 bumper stickers, I love Cybertron and roll out. Then there is the license plate that reads BMBL84, and the plate has a date on it, September 17th, 1984, the day that the original toy franchise was initially released. Nice. And finally, you can switch the license plate, swapping the BMBL84 with another one, GLD-BUG, a reference to the rebuilt version of Bumblebee named Goldbug from the Transformers comic book series. Okay, now for the coolest part of the set, transforming Bumblebee from car mode to robot mode. Let's see all of the steps to make it happen. And there it is, the complete transformation of Bumblebee from Volkswagen Beetle into robot mode. And he's ready to enter battle against the Decepticons with his blaster in hand. It's a great set, a lot of fun to build and to transform it, but there are some things we want to mention from our experience with this set. So there are a couple pieces, namely the head and some arm pieces, that are quite delicate and tend to fall off easily when you're transforming the model. It can be a bit frustrating, so keep that in mind. Also, some of the pieces can bang into each other during the transformation if you aren't careful, which can also cause pieces to inadvertently fall off. So I know this might be an unpopular take, but this may be one of those sets that you consider gluing together, especially if you're going to play with it and transform it a lot. But hey, even with that being said, this was our first LEGO Transformers set, and Bumblebee definitely did not disappoint us. Both versions of the model look great. It's certainly one of the best sets we've added to our collection, and we highly recommend picking this one up. Okay, now it's time for some Decepticon love, and check it out, it's the just released in August of 2025. Yep, it's a personal favorite Transformer of my childhood. It's Soundwave. Yep, just released this month in 2025, the Soundwave set comes with 1,505 pieces. This is a big build. It has an intended age range of 18 and up, and you can pick it up for about $190. And Soundwave definitely ate his Wheaties. He's a big boy, as indicated on the diagram on the back of the box. He stands tall at 13 inches or 33 centimeters in height, and he includes a sound brick too. More on that later. And just like the Bumblebee set, Soundwave comes with a thick instruction booklet too, and it's also filled with some nice additional content from the LEGO team. Starting with this section outlining the addition of Soundwave to the LEGO Icons Transformers collection. Soundwave is the first Decepticon to join the popular LEGO Icons Transformers collectible series. Flanked by his loyal sidekicks Laserbeak and Ravage, he is fully geared up to battle Autobots Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. His characteristic voice is captured in a LEGO sound brick with original lines and unique new recordings. Highly detailed, posable, and designed to convert into his alternate mode just like the original G1 toy, Soundwave embodies the nostalgia of the animated 1980s The Transformers series. And on the next page we have a quick bio, Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior. As Megatron's communications officer, Soundwave is a master of deception. His dedication to the Decepticons' cause makes him feared by allies and enemies alike. He even spies on other Decepticons to root out dissent. His robot spies, Ravage and Laserbeak, can be deployed for espionage and sabotage missions. And then we have some insight into the special features of this Soundwave build. The LEGO Sound Brick. Press the play button to activate the built-in LEGO Sound Brick. Listen to the iconic Soundwave phrases inspired by the animated series The Transformers, 1984 to 1987, and new lines specifically recorded for this model. And then we have another section that is titled Prepare for Your Building Mission. The original Soundwave toy released in 1984 had yellow eyes. In the series, his eyes were red. This set includes both colors. The following page contains some details of the accessories that come with Soundwave, including Laserbeak, Ravage, and more, and of course we're going to show you all of this in the video. And finally, in addition to the instructions on how to assemble the Soundwave build, this booklet contains another set of instructions that show you how to transform from robot form to cassette player form. Alright, now let's dive into the set. We have a bunch to show you here, as it comes with the Soundwave model, 2 companions, Laserbeak and Ravage, and finally a display plaque along with a miniature version of Soundwave in cassette player form. Alright, so let's check out this display plaque first. Just like the one that came with Bumblebee, yes, it's a sticker, not a printed piece. And this one has the Decepticon logo on it, Soundwave's name and attributes, and his function of communications. Finally, we have a quote from Soundwave, simple and to the point, Soundwave superior. But that's not all. The mini cassette form of Soundwave on this stand has interchangeable cassette tiles that you can swap from Laserbeak to Ravage. Pretty cool. Yep, a black cassette tile that simulates Ravage inside of the player, and a red one for Laserbeak. Let's take a look at those 2 companions now, starting with Ravage. This robotic panther is one of Soundwave's best spies and was a popular G1 character for sure. The Decepticon logo is front and center on top of his head, and he sports a pair of missile blasters on his back. And of course, Ravage can transform into a cassette tape that can be inserted into Soundwave, so let's look at the transformation now. And then by hitting the switch on Soundwave's shoulder, we can flip open the cassette deck and slide Ravage in. And you know what, LEGO really did a fantastic job with this part of the build. The switch really has that feel of an old school cassette player. It just feels really authentic when you hit the switch and it flips open. Okay, let's check out the other companion that comes in the set. It's the robotic bird of prey, Laserbeak. Yeah, you have to check this one out. Is that a menacing looking robotic bird or what? Laserbeak has dual blasters on the front. The adjustable wings are a nice touch to this build, with the Decepticon logos located on the top of each of them. And finally on the back we have 2 large thrusters that let Laserbeak blast off into the sky. And of course, just like Ravage, Laserbeak can also be transformed into a cassette. And yes, you can swap Ravage out and put the Laserbeak cassette in Soundwave as well. And unfortunately, the cassettes do not determine which recordings the Soundbrick can play. Certainly that would have required a more advanced design, but it would have been cool. Alright, now let's move on to the star of the set. It's Soundwave, and yeah, this is an awesome build. So we know Soundwave's function is primarily a communications officer, but he's also well prepared to enter battle against the Autobots, armed with his 2 imposing weapons. He comes equipped with his iconic laser blaster and this awesome shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. And on the opposite shoulder we have the release button, which opens up the cassette deck. Soundwave's head is incredibly well designed. The resemblance to the head on the actual toy action figure is uncanny, and yes, as we mentioned earlier, the eyes can be customized to be yellow or red. We went with the more menacing red for our build. And the rest of this build is very well designed, capturing the aesthetics of the Transformers robot armor nicely. Well, except for the back, which honestly looks quite unfinished, but to be fair, that might have been somewhat required in order for the model to be able to transform. And also on the back, we have the speaker for the Soundbrick, which is located right here. Soundwave is tall too, at about 12 inches in height. He's about 3 inches taller than the Bumblebee model. Okay, and now for the best part of this build, the transformation. With just a few easy steps, we can convert Soundwave from robot form to cassette player. So yeah, that's the incredible Soundwave from the LEGO Icons Transformers series. Along with the Bumblebee set, we are really happy to have added these two sets to our collection. And now, while both of these sets are great, there are definitely pros and cons to both of them. While Bumblebee is certainly the more affordable of the two, we found his transformation to be somewhat fragile, as pieces tended to fall off easily and the steps in the transformation can be a bit awkward and rigid. Soundwave, on the other hand, is quite pricey at nearly $200, but it's frankly a better build. His transformation is quite smooth, and we never had any issues with it as the set held together perfectly between transformations. Despite all of that, we love both of these sets, and we highly recommend adding them to your collection, especially if you are a Transformers fan. So that brings us to the end of today's video. We hope you enjoyed our review of the LEGO Icons Bumblebee and Soundwave sets. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you at the next build.